details.
Good evening, Oklahoma, and welcome to another edition, the season finale for April 25th, 2022 of the Oklahoma City Public School Coaches Show. Tonight's game, that's what I feel like. I feel like a game tonight. Tonight's broadcast is being sponsored by SNU, Southern Nazarene University, Casey's General Store, Scissortail Waste Solutions, Automax, Grinmore Sneaker Boutique, and Big O's Pork and Dreams. I'm Maurice Prince, your host for tonight's season finale. Michael McDaniel, he had other things to do tonight, so I'm stepping in his behalf. Now, we're going to get things kicking tonight because we got a lot of soccer in play. We have the Oklahoma Cleats for Kids, the C4K, will be joining us tonight. We have the Southeast High School boys soccer team, the 5A2 district champions. But tonight's broadcast, we started off with the newly crowned ACA middle school champions. That is the Taft Royal Boys Soccer Team. Joining me at the table tonight, of course, I have student athletes, 13-year-old David Vicente, then Noe Mondragon, who is 14 years old, also for Taft, and their head coach, Eric Parker. Good evening to you guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. Glad to have you guys on the show. So, I mean, my goodness, champions, how does it feel? David, I'll come to you first. How does it feel to be, the term, champion, Taft Royals? How does that feel, putting that all together?
Well, it feels great, Yeah, it feels great.
It feels great. Okay, simply. Go ahead, Noe. What say you?
Yeah, it feels good.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Feels good. Okay, you guys are very modest, very cool. So, Coach Parker, tell me, were they this cool on Friday night when this was it Friday or Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Thursday night when this match got kicked off.
When it got kicked off, they were focused. They were ready. We've been prepping all season for this, even before the season, with this mindset that we were going to go all the way, that we were going to win this thing, and we weren't going to let any other opponent beat us. And from warm-ups to right before the game, I could kind of see it in all their eyes. They were nervous, but they were focused and they were ready. They knew the task at hand. They knew what they needed to do, and they got it done. And then afterwards, the amount of the explosion of them realizing it happened, it was great to see.
Were they this smooth? After the game, what I catch now is some swag from David and Noe right here. Was that always there, or was it a little different in the course of the game?
In the match, it's there. This is a great group of kids. They're so focused on the task at hand. They all know what they need to be doing, and in the match, you can see it on their face. They don't get caught up in everything else going on in the stands or whatever the other team is doing. They're focused on what they need to be doing, to help their teammates, and then underneath that cool exterior in the match, outside of that, they're complete psychos, if I'm being honest. I love being around them. Sometimes they drive me up the wall, but it's a good kind of drive up the wall. So it's nice seeing them being able to flip that switch so easily.
All right, so let's break this down into the half. You guys beat Belle Isle Middle School 2-0 in the score itself. So, Noe, talk to me about the first half. So the ball's kicked away. You guys get going. What do you remember about the first half of this game?
The first half, it was a good matchup. Everybody was fighting for the ball. We did struggle a little bit, but I feel like after we scored that first goal, we got a roll, and we just kept going, and then scored the second goal, and then we won.
Okay, so was there 2 goals in the first half, or was it in the second half? Or was it just one?
I think it was one in the first and one in the second half.
Okay, so it was a complete process. You didn't just leave everything in the first half. You had to do all the work. So, David, let's come to you. What do you remember about the second half of the match? Because when a 1-0 lead going into the second half, that means it's still anybody. Anybody can still get back in it. How did you guys, get going in the second half, and what was the team's mentality coming out of halftime?
Well, in the second half, we could all see that we were very determined to win. And, we played very well, and we sealed off the game, and we won.
All right. Okay. Okay. Now, when you guys talk about it, David, what position are you playing?
I'm the goalkeeper.
You're the goalkeeper. Okay. So you are the wall, should I say? And since nothing touched you on this, I mean, did you brush off the shoulders? How many shots did Did Belle Isle get against you?
Like I think around four.
About four. Was it any doubt in your mind? Was there any of them you're like, boy, I need to make sure my fullbacks and my defenders step back? I mean, how did you feel about those situations when they came after you?
Well, they had a free kick, and I felt like our defense had to drop back a little bit, but I came out and I got the ball.
Now, are you good? I mean, side to side in that box. I mean, how did you feel in the box? Did the box feel like home to you?
Yeah, I mean,
the goal box.
We have great defenders, and they made sure they only got 4 shots up on them.
Okay, 4 shots. So, Noe, what position are you playing?
I play right midfield.
Right midfield. Okay, so you're basically the controller and the setup man for the offense when it comes to soccer here. So, in terms of what you did in the game, how did you see your role, and what was the biggest moment that stood out to you?
I feel like for my part, I play up and down, and then I make sure that you can get past half field, and then regain the ball in the midfield and move it up to the forwards.
Okay, all right, I see that. Now, in the second half of the game, when Belle Isle, when you guys got that second goal, you guys still didn't quit. You guys kept fighting all the way through. So even though you had the 2, what was the team's feel on the field as the game was in live action there?
I feel like we were a little bit more comfortable because we had that 2-goal lead, but I feel like we still kept working for it, try to get more goals up.
All right. Coach Parker, let's go back to you for a second here. In the game itself, when you hear the guys kind of describe what they saw, is it the same thing? Now, coaches always will tell you, they'll tell me that great story of, yes, they saw exactly what I was seeing. What were you seeing, and how did you feel the kids responded to the situation and circumstance? Because, again, circumstance in sports is what really matters. That situational ball play. How did you think they progressed in this game itself?
So a lot of kind of the philosophy around this team and kind of the way I see coaching is a lot of it is the players having the game knowledge to adjust to what's going on the field. For example, the conditions were super windy on Thursday. Maybe my directives from the side aren't getting there, but the players have the strategy. They know what we're looking for in the match, and they are able to control what's going on the field themselves. We didn't try to overdo too many things. We tried to play our basic game. I moved a couple pieces around and then had a couple contingency plans that we ended up having to go to for a little bit. But everything was pretty set, and they executed everything they needed to. Things were quite predictable. Things went the way that I had foresaw them kind of going, and they just played the exact game they needed to play, and everything worked out just fine.
Guys, talk to me about the coach just in this championship game for a little bit here. How did you guys feel like, you get your strength and your knowledge and things obvious from your coach, but how did you guys feel like the coach was in this game, and how did it help you win? I'll start off with you, Noe.
I feel like he played an important role because, without him, we wouldn't be able to do it. And, yeah, he was really important to us getting to the championship.
David?
Well, like what Noah said, he had a very important role, and we have a great coach, and we probably wouldn't have won without him.
All right, he's a great coach. Now, did you guys feel about that way back at the beginning of this season? Did we have that mentality? What was it like getting ready? Because now the journey, you guys are champions. Congratulations again. But that hard work began a few months ago, so maybe even a little bit longer than that. So talk to me a little bit about the journey, David. Did the team start off this way, this confident, and how did it progress over the season?
Well, we started off very strong. We all shared the same goal. It was to win the championship. And as the season progressed, we still had that same determination of going in, beating the team, all that. So, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, at the start of the season, we started strong. As the season progressed, I feel like we wanted even more because we felt like we had a chance of winning the championship, and we did it.
What was the most difficult part of the season? because every story, every team championship, there's some things that had to go on to get there. So what was the most challenging part, if you guys had to say, about the season itself? Either one of you can go first on this one. Go ahead, Dave. You have that smile that you want to take it. What was the most challenging part?
Well, the most challenging part was probably I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, that's all right. That's all right. I mean, because for some folks it's challenging, other folks it's a lot easier than that. So it's all right. No way.
I feel like the most challenging part wasn't even really with the other teams, but I feel like with ourselves, like us committing mistakes and then them having a chance to go and score.
When you find early season success, Coach, sometimes those lessons don't come as easy. What would you say the best learning time, for this team over the course of the season was?
Definitely in our looser practices. So I'm very fortunate to have a very technically skilled team. So a lot of times our practices, we don't have to focus on doing real basic individual drills and things like that. We can do scrimmage scenarios. We can mix our groups up. We can have our attacking forwards going against our starting D, things like that. We have the luxury of having enough boys to be able to run these full scenarios and things like that. So I feel like a lot of the growth that we got was not so much in our actual matches, but in our practices, because I tailored them to seem to be more difficult, or there to be a specific challenge that was over whatever we'd have to deal with in our games. So I may challenge, our starting midfield to work with our JV defenders and forwards, and they have to find a way to make it work with the players around them. I might put our starting goalkeeper with our JV team, so he's able to coordinate them and get used to taking shots from our starting forwards and things like that. So a lot of practice hard to make the match easier, essentially.
So would you guys say that practice was more difficult than some of the games this year?
Yeah.
And in really good coaching, that's exactly what it is. If you do everything, all the work in practice, the games is just replaying all the things that you've done, and it should come out pretty easy. Coach, I just want to just take a moment here. You being an OU grad and give you a little bit of love. I said you kind of captured Oklahoma City by storm a couple of years ago. You were printed in the Daily Oklahoman, for those who don't know, by being able to incorporate bringing some unity to the kids by putting each one of the flags from different I would say different countries, different denominations, all and recognizing it in the classroom. What kind of edge has that given you in terms of that? Because you are a relationship style coach. You like being able to bond with not only your team, but you like doing that in the classroom as well.
It just makes everything a whole lot easier. It makes knowing the students a lot easier. And when you put that energy and effort into the students, you get it back from them. I'm very, very, very fortunate to teach at Taft and to have taught at Northwest Class, and the amount of students from all the different places I get to work with, it really, as much as I feel like I'm helping them, they do a lot more for me. It's beautiful to see the different things that they've gone through, the different places they're from, the different cultures that they have, and all that just kind of blends. I mean, it even blends with our team. We have so many different nationalities on our team, and it's just a very unique and special thing about Taft, all these different cultures and everything mixing together in one, and I just love being around it.
Yeah, it is a beautiful thing, and I really appreciate your honesty about that, because that's what makes a team great. Normally you can get that cohesion in a team because it's after one singular goal, which is winning and winning a title. But when you can get that and then get people to look beyond differences just in a classroom, and these bonds don't restrict us but make us stronger, it really shows the strength of a team, and that's something that bonds the team together. Not to mention, it makes it easier when it comes to getting things accomplished, because everybody feels a part of it.
Oh yeah, there wasn't really any, that's one of the things you think about before season, and how are these group of boys going to work together? How are things going to mesh? And it really just kind of just took off. All the boys shared the same love of the game. From that commonality, they can all start to build those relationships with each other. Some of them already had strong relationships with each other, and they did a good job of pulling these other boys in. And one of the biggest notes of that is the way our 8th graders pull pulled those 7th graders that they might not know as well and things like that into the mix. Probably one of the best examples of that is how they rallied around one of our boys, Demayo. They call him Mbappe. At the beginning of the year, you know, they were kind of just like, you know, he's all right, things like this. Now he's full circle. He's doing backflips after he scores goals, and the varsity boys they hype him up. Sometimes a little too much. A little too much. Y'all know y'all can get that boy going. But it's the same way. I love the way these 8th grade boys especially worked as a leadership unit and did a good job of leaving something behind them. I know I'm not going to have too much to deal with the 7th graders coming up next year because they had this kind of leadership, and I really appreciate it.
No way. And also, David, let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of impact and what do you think that the 7th graders, what kind of season do you predict them to have next year?
I feel like if they put in the work they put in this year, they can bring another title home. Okay.
David, is that the expectation? I mean, is the expectation that, I mean, you guys are progressing on into high school now, so you guys got to not necessarily reset the table, just take the game to the next level. But is the expectation, will this group here that just won the title be saying, hey, what's going on with the Royals back over there? Is that something that you think that's going to happen?
Well, yeah, we have great 7th grade players. There's a couple that are like very good, and I feel like they could, you know, if they work as hard, they can probably, they can win another title.
I always have to ask this question. Is there anyone that you look up to in your game? David, I'll start with you. Is there anybody who you kind of pattern your style, you know, your swag? Is there anybody you kind of pattern yourself after?
This great goalkeeper named Iker Casillas.
Okay. Is he a club player? What is
professional?
Professional.
He's retired now.
Oh, he's retired. Okay. And what about his game is something that you like to incorporate in yours?
Well, just the way he plays, the way he's very humble, and you know he's a great teammate.
Well, you got a lot of that working for you. I can see that already. No way. What about you?
Trent Alexander.
Okay.
Professional soccer player.
All right. Is he's still active, or
yes?
Okay. Where does he play for?
He plays with Liverpool.
Okay, with Liverpool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of that, what part of his game do you like and say, that's what I want?
I like how he plays. He plays defensively and attack, like be able to attack and defend at the same time. Like that's something I try to be able to do.
Okay. What had been the most coached about both these players that's here and about the team? What makes you proud? Obviously the winning, but the growth these young men have shown. What has been the thing that's going to stick with you about this? Because every coach takes this, takes the success and failures with them home. What do you take up with this group here? What are you going to remember the most?
Just the way they carried themselves. Honestly, this is probably one of the greatest group of young men I've ever been around. And it's not just the way they play on the field. It's the way they carry themselves also on the field, the way they carry themselves off the field, the way they, genuinely are good people. They respect the people around them. They always stand up for what's right. I've talked about it so much, but, to highlight the moment during the match, it could have turned into a physical altercation. One of our boys got shoved down to the ground, and a few of our 8th graders, they stepped up. They not only protected their teammate, but they also, brought the situation down. They calmed the other team down. They were able to talk everything through. And a lot of that just stands as a testament of what great young men they are. And I'd like to take credit for instilling that in them, but a lot of them came with it. They've got great families. They've got great support systems behind them. And I hope I was able to add anything to the people that they already are. But I'm just so fortunate to have been around a group of young men like this year. It was really great for me. I just became a new father during the season, so I'm really hoping.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm really hoping my son can kind of grow into the young men that these boys are. I really admire them. I hope they truly know that. If you're watching, all of you, don't worry, not all of you. I do admire all of you. It's not just a few. All of you are great.
David, is there anyone in particular you'd like to thank as we get ready to wrap this up here?
To the teammate?
The teammates, your parents, anybody you want to throw some love to. This is your one. You want to thank the Taft Royal fans, student base. This is the chance to let them know that we couldn't have done it without you.
Well, I can't name them all, but my teammates.
Okay, that's okay. That's great. No way.
Yeah, the teammates and all the fans, the parents that went to support us.
Okay, all right, want to do that. Coach, I would be remiss, even though she is very humble, Amanda Girdler, who is also very much a part of this success. Can you talk a little bit about her impact on this? She was too kind and said that she wanted just the kids and you to get the little bit of love, but I wanted to throw her a little bit of love.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be coaching.
Okay,
without,
that's
Amanda
the
Girdler.
best reason.
So that's step one.
That's it, folks. See, if you were confused on why we're here, you thank the person who hired you. Real easy.
Forward-thinking mentality, right?
There you go.
But no, the amount of, I've seen it firsthand throughout the year. The amount of time that she, as our athletic director, has sacrificed for all our sports this year, it's really something that I truly appreciate. Even though a lot of the kids don't know how to say it, I know that they truly appreciate it too. And it's a community working thing. It can't just work from one end. You need that solid relationship between coaches and the athletic directors and the students. Like the school-wide just community, and I love what we have at Taft, especially right now. Also, she, the coaches around me, I thank her for them too, Brandon Wilson and Brian Cifuentes, because again, while I wasn't even at the first two games, I was in the hospital with our baby, but Coach G, Coach Fuentes, Coach Wilson, they all held it down for me, and I'm very, very thankful for them taking care of these boys in this program while I was gone.
Congratulations once again, beating Belle Isle Middle School, and I'm sure Belle Isle is watching tonight. We're expecting great things from you in the future, even though you lost the championship game. But congratulations on a successful season itself. Before we get out of here, I want to make sure that when you say it's been set from the tone at the top and that she is the boss, one of the things that I admired just getting ready for today's broadcast is she has a genuine, meaning Amanda Girdler, a genuine love for students. She said many times that this is the job she was meant to have, and it shows and it resonates in all her people working around her. So want to make sure we take a break, but we got to honor them one more time. The newly crowned ACA Middle School Championship Soccer Team, the Taft Royals. Make some noise for them.
Watch the throne. We out here.
Watch the throne. Okay, so next year at Taft, okay, I'm telling you parents now, run it back. That's what they want on the shirt. Run it back. That's what they're planning on doing. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. We're going to take an opening timeout. Want to make sure we thank our sponsors for tonight's broadcast, SNU, Casey's General Store, Scissortail Waste Solution, Automax, Grinmore Sneaker Boutique, and Big O's Pork and Dreams. We are at Dick's Sporting Goods, 6601 Southwest 3rd Street. It's a great place to come get your soccer gear, great place to get your golf clubs, whatever you need, Dick's is the place, and we want to thank them for being the host for this all season long. We'll be back on the other side of the break. We're going to keep things kicking, folks. We're going to take it up a notch as Southeast will step into the table in just a minute, but you're listening to the Oklahoma City Public Schools Coaches Show.
Injuries don't wait. For business hours, now you can be seen 24/7 for sports injuries. Whether you have a sprain or a broken bone, at the SSM Health Bone and Joint Injury Clinic at 13401 Northwestern.
The thing with car buying nowadays is just how many options there are when it comes to where to actually get a car. Dealerships, websites, auctions, private sellers, and so on. But knowing exactly where to get your car loan makes it all much less stressful. That's where Communication Federal can help. There's a reason we're known for auto loans around here. Lots of car options and lots of places to buy, but only one choice for an auto loan. Communication Federal Credit Union.
Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Introducing Venture X, Capital One's new travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma City Public School Coaches Show. I am your host for tonight, Maurice Prince, in for Michael McDaniel. Mike has decided to do the Texas two-step. He is down on the way tonight, but he would want me to make sure I mention the sponsors as only he could. SNU, KC's General Store, Scissortail Waste Solution, Automax, Grinmore Sneaker Boutique, and Big O's Pork and Dreams. We just finished talking to the newly crowned ACA middle school champions, the Taft Royals boys soccer team, but we're going to keep things kicking. We're going to keep it rolling. And to the table now, we go to the next level. We talk a little bit on the high school level now with the Southeast Spartans in the building now, Class 5A2 District Champions. And at the table right now, senior Angel Sanchez and Mariano Angon. I hope I got that right. Did I get that right, Mr. Angon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I got that right. He's also a senior. And, of course, joining me at the table is head coach Garron Park. So let's just talk about it, guys. Whenever you are district champs, there are some work that has to be done. You know, there's some groundwork that has to be laid. So let's go back to the beginning of the season, Angel. When did that really begin? What was the groundwork for that?
I definitely think that it was we had a kind of a rough start to the season, and once we were able to pick up form, I think it was not really any stopping us from there. We did work off and out the field together, bonding as a team, working on the practice field to get our chemistry up, and once we felt we were unstoppable, we kind of took it from there.
Oh, you just went unstoppable. You didn't waste any time. I mean, Mariano, do you agree with that statement? And if so, did he leave out anything?
I feel like the main part he left out was the beginning of the season. We did have a rough start. We had a different formation, And then Coach Park suggested a new formation, playing with 3 in the back, allowing us to have more pressure up top, kind of being able to attack the other team more. And ever since we switched to 3 in the back, we've been undefeated, and no one's been able to beat us. So I feel like ever since we switched our formation, we've just excelled as a team and done really good.
Coach Park, so Coach Garron Park, let's come to you now. What I heard there from your athletes is something that, if we're a chef and we're cooking a dish, we're used to serving it this way. But then you said, no. We need to change a little bit of the ingredients to make the meal taste a little bit better, go a little smoother. What led to that philosophy change, and what did you see?
Yeah, for sure. So ever since I coached at Southeast, we pretty much run the same formation, 4-3-3. And it just didn't seem like it was clicking this year. So sat down with my assistant coach, and we looked at the roster and what positions everyone played, where we thought they were the most comfortable, where we thought maybe we could play people out of position. And then we decided, okay, if we're going to switch things up, what would that look like? And we decided to go 3 at the back. We have probably the most center backs I have ever had this year, so it was a no-brainer to 3 center backs and then use the rest of the field to kind of exploit specific areas or focus on some specific aspect that whatever our opponent looks like that we can do.
I love how you made it sound real simple. Like, yeah, that's we just changed it up. It was a no-brainer. There's a lot of coaches that don't make that move. They stick to their guns about the philosophy. Having a coach, Angel, that sees and will adapt and make those tough decisions, how does that make you feel as a player? I mean, you're a senior. You've been through this. And, again, he's changing it up this year. You're a senior, something that he's done for a while. How does that make you feel as a player, knowing that you go into a situation that all options are on the table to help you win?
Yeah, well, I definitely think that, switching the formation side of things was the right call. And I think as a collective, as a team, I don't think we've ever had doubt with Park as our coach. We've always had whatever philosophy he's instilled onto us, we've always bought into it. And I think that's what really helped us change the formation, change the game plan, was we have trust in our coach that he knows what he's doing, and we're going to do our best to see his plan out.
Mariano, it sounds all nice and wonderful. It was all fuzzies. I get all kind of warm inside hearing Angel talk. But sometimes getting that change sometimes can be a little difficult for everybody. It's not always easy for everybody. Someone usually gets affected. And in the team chemistry, how did you guys overall respond to that, and how did you feel about the change?
Whenever Park first talked to us about the change, I'm going to be honest, me and a couple of other players were a little hesitant on it just because we were so used to playing with 4 in the back, so reliant on having 2 center backs, a right back, a left back. But then we decided, hey, he's our coach. Let's give it a try, First game, we did really good. Second game, we did really good. Third game, we did really good, to where now I don't see us playing without 3 in the back. It's just allowed us to create so much more pressure to the team. We obviously lost seniors last year, and Park being able to adapt to that, to change to having 3 in the back, because we have a lot of players. They have a lot of different abilities, a lot of different, you could say, like,
talents and skills?
Talents, yeah. A lot of different talents and skills that Park knew they would play best if we played in this type of formation and they played in this position, Some players were affected. We had, 1 or 2 maybe be benched now, and we had some others start over them. But, I mean, hey, it's a team, as long as we make it all the way to state and win and everyone puts in their part, that's all that matters.
Coach, I love with the honesty, because that's what you get to really find out how the effect it has when a coach makes a decision on a team. You've always, just getting ready for the interview today, strike me as a thinker, one who always processes a lot. And one word that stood out to me that Mariano said was trust. How, establishing that with today's modern athletes, not always easy. And when you take away something that folks are comfortable doing, it kind of can be kind of tough. So how did you feel about the reaction to this? I mean, the success obviously yields, some, well, I told you, that type of mentality, but that's not how you're wearing it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I would say that while a majority of the team, I would say, trusts me, I would say even like individual choices I make for specific games, there might be a little pushback. And it's just, I mean, man management, and then also knowing that I'm not the one out there on the pitch making those decisions real time. And so it's I think it's a give and take where say, hey, this is maybe the system I want to run, and these are the things that I want you to do. But, you know, I don't see the game unfold the same way that that player does. And so they might make choices that I might not have made if I were in their shoes. But I think at the end of the day, it's really if they trust one another is more important, I think, than if they trust me.
I love that you said that, because trusting one another and building camaraderie with it makes it easier to win as a team, because if you're not on the same page, you obviously will lose as a team. So, Angel, when you start looking at the season overall, the changes made and the success that you're building, and the bonding that's taking place with the team, what sticks with you? If there was a word or two that you would say that describes this team, what would that be?
I definitely think that our mentality has always been on the same wavelength. We've always, even with the new freshmen coming in and, you know, seniors still being here, going through, you know, tough past 2 years, you know, with the COVID year and everything, us missing a year, I think all of us came in with the mentality of we're here to win, we're here to work together, we're here to help each other out. And, yeah, I think that since the beginning it's always been one for all and all for one.
Mariano, when you start thinking about the team, I know I talked to him about one word that describes it. Is there anything that you feel that needs to be said about how this team, if you had to describe it, what would be your thoughts?
My thoughts on the team, sometimes they like to goof off a little too much, you know, play around. They're not as serious as I am. I'm a senior, you know, I'm about to graduate. Some of the players maybe like joke around too much at practice and stuff, and I have to kind of get them like, hey, like, let's focus, let's take it serious, you know. We're in district champs now, we're in playoffs. So sometimes they do need a little push, but once you give them that little push in the game, it's honestly amazing seeing all of us play for one another. Whenever we go against a hard team and we play to the best of our ability, I honestly believe that we can beat any 5A team in the state. When all of us go out there and give it our all, we're honestly an amazing team, good chemistry. We all work for one another, play for one another, and trust one another to do what's right.
Mariano, let's go back in the Wayback Machine for just a few minutes here, if you don't mind. From a freshman to a senior as you are, and you're taking this very serious, and this is a big part of you, you're enjoying this, what would be the biggest improvement in your game in the last, 4 years is a long time, but what would you say the biggest improvement in your game has been?
I'd say confidence. Coming in as a freshman, I was nervous stepping on the field. I'd get the ball. I'd get nervous. You know, I'd make a bad pass, a bad shot, and then I would just put my head down and be like, oh, I'm having a bad game. I'm going to continue to have a bad game. But throughout these 4 years, I've just developed to where if I make a bad pass, okay, the next one I'll fix it. If I make a bad shot, the next one I'll fix it. And so I feel like overall my mentality and confidence has grown throughout these 4 years.
Angel, you couldn't stop nodding your head on what he was saying. What is it you've seen, in your own game that's improved?
Yeah, definitely going along the same lines as Mariano. Me coming in as a freshman, I was, had to work my way up through the system, started off JV2, and was able to now this year be a varsity starter as a senior. And I think what really helped me with that is just, like Mariano says, mentality that changes over time. Of like, if you know you're doing something wrong, fix it. If you know what you're doing right, keep doing it right. Keep being consistent is what I'd say.
Coach Park, you have a philosophy that you have put out there. I won't say it's a mantra, but it's going to say this: preciousness over performance, but you have this little ... but I really enjoy winning.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that philosophy, because it's resonating in your athletes strongly, because they have found their not, I won't say their place, because that sounds like I'm minimizing them. I want to say they found that confidence to go ahead and find it, and that has spilled over into this winning that's become infectious with this team.
Yeah, so I have to give a shout out to my wife. She's a therapist, and so it's all preciousness over performance for her, and that's actually where I first heard it from, is her. And I think it just stuck with me as soon as I heard it. And I think it's sort of I would say it's my teaching philosophy too. It's not just coaching. is every student athlete. Who they are is far more important than, the stats they have on the field or the grades they make. And I think students know that I won't value them less because they miss a tackle, miss a pass, we lose a game. I think it does maybe speak to their confidence a bit. I mean, I will probably get mad if, they're not hitting their spots, but I'll keep them honest. But at the end of the day, their value to me is far more about who they are than what they do.
And I think that's resonating. And again, there's a lot of questions I would like to ask, but those are questions I like that you save for when a season is over. Your season the second season is just beginning for this team. When is the next match or next game? What is it? Is that Thursday?
It is the 3rd, May the 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yeah.
So you guys get a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't want to minimize where you guys are at all. So, Mariano, let me come to you first. What is the mentality going to be for you getting ready for May 3rd? Because there's a little bit of downtime, so you're going to get a little anxious, a little bit of that. How will you, being a senior, show leadership to help this team get ready for the match on May 3rd?
We have a week to get ready. Our game is May 3rd on Tuesday of next week. I can't be having any players let off the gas now. The district is over, but now playoffs are on, and now if we lose the game and go home, no more practices, that's the end of the soccer season. And, I'm a senior. I'm going to miss it. I want to spend as much time on the field, practicing, bonding with them as much as I can. So every practice I'm going to push them so they can – be at their best, do their best, so that when the game comes, everyone is at their best and we play to the best of our ability.
Angel.
Kind of just enjoying everything. This is, our 3rd district title in the span of 4 years. And I think going along with that, it's always been, all right, here's one championship, we still got more to go. Still that state championship that we all want, all working for. And I don't think any of us are going to let off the gas anytime soon, and we won't stop until that championship's in our hands again.
Staying hungry is important, but enjoying the wave of the success that you have and keeping everybody in tune, to me, Coach, is something that you have to balance between that. If you had to say something to your team this week, what will some of those, I hate saying sermons that you're going to say or speeches you're going to say, but what are some of the things that you're going to tell your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that I harp on is definitely mentality. They're a talented group. I think they could, without me on their own, if they just said, okay, let's go play, and they faced people, they would win games. But it's about, taking that to the next level. What's the next step beyond, okay, we know we're good. What is the next thing that we can do to get better? And so it is, maybe, just like Mariano says, you miss that pass, even if it's in practice. Next pass, let's get it. Next touch, let's get it. And so, yeah, not letting off the gas. Enjoying it, like Angel said, is huge. I think we do have this year more than others is the boys like to have fun more than anything. And so there's a lot of goofing off, but I think that helps them get into the flow of the game better is when they're out there having fun, they're out of their headspace, and they're just enjoying the game.
Mariano's just not a fan of don't let it go too far. He's just, hey, man, look, okay, that was good. It's like the guy who tells the joke too much. Stop telling that joke, man. Let's get back to what we're doing. Guys, we wish you the most, success. Let's just get a state title. Let's end this senior run the way it should be at Southeast High School with the Spartans up. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's time for us to take our final time out. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Allyson Cain from C4K. You don't know what that is, and we'll talk about it on the other side. You are listening to the Oklahoma City Public School Coaches Show.
Injuries don't wait. For business hours, now you can be seen 24/7 for sports injuries. Whether you have a sprain or a broken bone, at the SSM Health Bone and Joint Injury Clinic at 13401 Northwestern.
The thing with car buying nowadays is just how many options there are when it comes to where to actually get a car. Dealerships, websites, auctions, private sellers, and so on. But knowing exactly where to get your car loan makes it all much less stressful. That's where Communication Federal can help. There's a reason we're known for auto loans around here. Lots of car options and lots of places to buy, but only one choice for an auto loan. Communication Federal Credit Union.
So you lay it down trying to sleep after a long day, and your frequent heartburn flares up for the third time this week. You try sitting up with more pillows, but now you can't get comfortable. Instead of fighting your heartburn, block it with Prilosec OTC. Taking one Prilosec OTC in the morning can prevent excess acid production and block your heartburn all day and all night. So you can get a full night's sleep without heartburn flare-ups. Prilosec OTC uses directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Attention taxpayers.
Allyson, can you go ahead and tell me what organization you work for?
I work for Oklahoma Cleats for Kids.
Okay. Okay. You want it a little loud?
It's time for one of the biggest events of the year. The Cowboys of Color Rodeo that features blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and whites competing for the crown of Cowboys of Color and cash. Live this year is one of the queens of R&B, Kelly Price. Also featuring DJ Cool. This is all taking place Saturday, May 7th at the Jim Norick Arena at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds. With doors opening at 3:30.
We are still here at Dick's Sporting Goods, located at 6601 Southwest 3rd Street in Oklahoma City. If you don't have the items you need to play sports, I don't know where you're shopping at, okay? Go on down here and come on down to Dick's Sporting Goods and let's get your items that you need, whether it's a soccer ball, golf clubs, football, you need your cleats, you need other things. Dick's Sporting Goods is the place. Sponsored tonight by Southern Nazarene University, Casey's General Store, Scissortail Waste Solution, Automax, Grinmore Sneaker Boutique, and Big O's Pork and Dreams. Our final guest tonight comes to us from C4K. You're like, what is that, Maurice? What is that? That's Oklahoma Cleats for Kids. And joining me at the table tonight is Miss Allyson Cain. Good evening to you, Allyson. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing all right. Talk to us a little bit about the Cleats for Kids organization.
Absolutely. So Cleats for Kids started 10 years ago. Our founders, Mark and Stacy McDaniel, founded Cleats for Kids out of their garage. They had 3 kids that were playing sports, and they saw that there were kids on their kids' teams that weren't coming back season after season, and they wondered why. And they found out it was because they couldn't afford the shoes and gear to play. So they thought, surely there's somewhere out here who's recycling the stuff that our kids are outgrowing to someone else that needs it, and there wasn't. So Cleats for Kids was born in their garage 10 years ago. And what we do is we equip and empower kids through the power of sports. And we do that by providing sports shoes and equipment to kids that need it free of charge.
Wonderful. See, this is an organization that's needed because parents are struggling. Things are not always as easy for everyone as everyone thinks. And I want to get to the big event going on April 30th. I want to talk about that a little bit. But before that, that need and all the kids that have been helped. I mean, I saw some crazy number, like 5,000 items handed out in March. Is that true?
Yes.
I mean, 5,000 items to needy families. That's 5,000 athletes that get to participate. You know, and I think that was handed out to over 4,000 kids.
Correct.
So talk to us about the collection process and folks who are listening right now who want to donate some of those old sneakers or old cleats. What do they need to do to get involved?
Yeah, so one way that we operate is through collection drives. A lot of that is through kids. So a main fabric of our mission is kids helping other kids. So kids can have collection drives at their schools, at their churches, different groups they're a part of. They're outgrowing their shoes and their sports equipment. That equipment goes into a Cleats for Kids box. It's inventoried in what we call our locker room. That's where coaches and families come shop. And then it's put on our shelves for other kids to get to use. So we have big collection bins, we have boxes that people can use. We take, although our name is Cleats for Kids, we take all sports equipment, all sizes, we serve kids up to 18, and we're fully statewide.
And that's the thing. So it's not just helping kids in the Oklahoma City metro. In other words, we're reaching kids in Tulsa and some of those small towns which are struggling. Because, I mean, let's just be honest. Gas prices are up. Not parents have the ability. Their child has the desire, but the parents don't have the money to get the equipment.
Absolutely.
So changing the lives of kids and keeping them on the field is such an important detail.
And we're just here to break down that barrier of that cost component that sometimes truly is a barrier for those kids. And we're here to get them the gear they need so they can stay on the court. We say here, on the field, on the court, and on the right track.
Okay, that's all encompassing of a lot of things. So we got this big event going on. You guys have been blasting it out for a while. The Game Changers Tailgate.
Yes.
April 30th, and I think this is the last week, of course. April 30th is this weekend. Put it down. What's going on? Where is it? Give us the entire scoop on that.
Yes. So like I said earlier, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary at Cleats for Kids, and we've really made that a year-long celebration. We had so much to celebrate. And one thing that we celebrated were our game changers. All of the partners, all of the donors, all of the volunteers, and the kids who have really been with us all those steps of the way for us to make it to 10 years. Although you mentioned that March was a huge month for us, which it was, with serving 4,000 kids with 5,000 items, in those 10 years we distributed 200,000 items to 140,000 kids across our state. So we've got a lot to celebrate. So we're going to celebrate that this Saturday on April 30th, and we're calling it our Game Changers Tailgate event. It's on Fred Jones Avenue, and we're just having an ultimate tailgate party to celebrate those 10 years and all those kids that have been served.
Wow, now that's a number. Can you repeat
I'll
the
repeat
number?
it.
Okay, repeat the number of total lives changed. I will say items given out. We'll start off with that.
Items, 200,000 items to 140,000 Oklahoma kids.
Well, if you want to see your items make a difference, this is where to do that. So parents, it's spring cleaning time, right? This is the time when you look at the football shoes from last year. There's no way my child's going to fit that size 13. There's going to be a child next year who was growing into that. Please make the donation for that. So at this celebration, can they still bring those items out to this?
They can bring those items, absolutely. And one thing I want to share is some people say, we want to have a collection drive, but what if we only, get 1 or 2 items? What I always say is every collection drive is successful because those 1 or 2 items is going to go to 1 or 2 kids, and that could change their life.
Absolutely. And again, this is something that's dispersed to girls, boys across the state, so it's not just one walk and all those things. So in other words, in Oklahoma City Public Schools, there's so many different sports to participate in.
Yes.
So golf clubs need those. I don't know if we're doing archery yet in Oklahoma City Public Schools, but we'll talk. We'll take it. Coach Dilbeck, archery is all right. Volleyball, things like that.
Yeah.
Tennis rackets. Those are the things that help build. Give me a story of someone, Allyson, if you would, who has been impacted, who you've had a chance to witness that this opportunity, they got something from C4K and it really changed them. Can you talk about that?
So we have a young lady named Lana, and she went to school in Moore, and she was coming to Cleats for Kids with her dad to get equipment for not only herself but some of her friends as well. because she realized, hey, these kids want to play softball with me. I want them to be able to play, but they may not have the gear. So she was coming to Cleats for Kids, not only for herself, but for her friends. That equipment gave her the opportunity to play softball as well as her teammates, and now she's playing college softball on a scholarship because those cleats, that bat, that ball gave her the opportunity to play, and that gave her the opportunity to further her education.
Now that's an outstanding story, and seeing those type of, there's probably out of the 140,000 impacted,
a lot.
I'm sure that's a popular story. But the thing about it is being able to participate and learning the things that sports can teach, from camaraderie to teamwork, developing leadership. These are all opportunities that without Cleats for Kids, some Oklahomans would not be able to participate in. So if they can't, Game Changer Drive, April 30th, give us the location again, and I just wanted somebody needs to bring bags. Just bring bags to this event of those things sitting in the garage. Go through your garage right now if you're listening on the radio. If you're watching us online, go to the garage and then find a way. Just drive by and drop it off. So, again, tell us where it is.
Yes, April 30th, we're on Fred Jones Avenue. We'll have collection boxes there, but also you can go on our website, www.cleatsforkids.org. We have a map there where you can find a bin locator if there's one closer to you, or you can always come to our office. We have a big white bin outside where you can put your stuff.
So how long will the Game Changers tailgate be going on?
We'll be there until 9 p.m.
Up there to 9 p.m. So I'm guessing there's probably going to be some food there, right?
There will be some food.
I'm guessing there's going to be some drinks there.
There will probably be some drinks.
So I'm guessing also there's going to be a little bit of fun.
There will be some fun.
So it's an opportunity to come out, bond, help other Oklahoma, and celebrate the success of an organization that is making a difference in young people's lives. And partnerships with Oklahoma City Public Schools is an important detail because coaches can call to ask. How many coaches have called Cleats for Kids saying, hey, do you happen to have I'm just throwing it out there because some parent out there is listening to me. Do you have a size 16?
I don't have a number, but I would say hundreds of thousands of coaches have called, come through our doors. Our partnership with Oklahoma City Public Schools is so important to us. We love this district. We're located in Oklahoma City, so it's a perfect partnership to be right here and help those kids closest to us.
And not to mention that you get the calls also from other areas as well, because those areas also need support. So it's not just Oklahoma City, although we're claiming that we're special here.
Absolutely. I'll claim it.
Allyson, I want to thank you so much for coming by and telling some of the stories about this, because I think parents need to know that this is something that they can pay it forward, and it's the beginning also of a very important part of volunteerism and also being able to share and help somebody else along the way, which is something that we all kind of need to do for each other anyway.
Absolutely.
So again, one more time, Game Changer Tailgate, time, date, location.
This Saturday, April 30th, 6:30, Fred Jones Avenue.
Folks, this is a great opportunity for you to be a part of things. I think you should come this weekend and see for yourself the lives that have been changed, and I think it'll make a permanent impact on you, and you will convince your neighbor to give something as well. That's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Oklahoma City Coaches Show. It is the season finale. I mean, there's more stories to tell. Yes, we'll have to get to that in season number 2. I want to thank our sponsors who have been here all year long. Number 1, Dick's Sporting Goods, 6601 Southwest 3rd Street. Come get your gear. Sponsors, SNU, Southern Nazarene University, Casey's General Store, Scissortail Waste Solution, Automax and Grinmore Sneaker Boutique, and Big O's Pork and Dreams. And, of course, this is CBS Sports Radio 105.3 FM. If you have something in there that you think we need to be a part of to come celebrate in your sporting lives, let us do that. I'm Maurice Prince, and we're going to say good night and wave goodbye, Miss Allyson, as we'll see you on Saturday, April 30th. This has been the Oklahoma City Public School Coaches Show.
Injuries don't wait. For business hours, now you can be seen 24/7 for sports injuries. Whether you have a sprain or a broken bone, at the SSM Health Bone and Joint Injury Clinic at 13401 Northwestern.
It's time for one of the biggest events of the year. The Cowboys of Color Rodeo that features blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and whites competing for the crown of Cowboys of Color and cash. Live this year is one of the queens of R&B, Kelly Price. Also featuring DJ Cool. This is all taking place Saturday, May 7th at the Jim Norick Arena at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, with doors opening at 3:30, showtime 5:30. Get your tickets now at E6 or charge by phone 405-948-6800. It's time for one of the biggest events of the year. The Cowboys of Color Rodeo that features blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and whites competing for the crown of Cowboys of Color and cash. Live this year is one of the queens of R&B, Kelly Price. Also featuring DJ Cool. This is all taking place Saturday, May 7th at the Jim Norick Arena at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, with doors opening at 3:30, showtime 5:30. Get your tickets now at E6 or charge by phone 405-948-6800.